Going into Worlds, what is Team Liquid's greatest strength, and what do you think your team's biggest opportunity area is?
I feel like our biggest strength is that we are not super affected by this like rabid like worldwide phenomenon where everyone wants to play like G2. I think we realized that like we lost to G2 in a really one-sided way, but we are never gonna give up like what we believe to be like our Team Liquid style. And I mean, our biggest weaknesses, I would say, is just comes down to sometimes we get like pulled into an enemy team's kind of like rhythm in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I hate using the word tempo, but like so sometimes teams just like they make a play, then you're on the recovery. They make another play, you're on the recovery, and you never get to like start getting the flow of the game the way you want it to go. And I think oftentimes when we lose, that's why we lose. We're not very comfortable with the way the game is going. And yeah, like our biggest strength though is that when we do get like our setup going, I feel like we're a brick wall, and it's very reminiscent of like when I played against Korean teams like back in the day. It just felt like no matter what you did, you didn't have any options.
Mm-hmm.
They just choked you out of all options. So that's kind of like the way that we have always approached the game, which is just give the enemy team as little options as possible, and then be ready for like the one. Like, because if you only have one option, like obviously, and the enemy team's ready for it, you're kind of boned. So that's kind of the like mentality we come into it with.
From 2015 to 2018, regardless of what team, you haven't been able to make it out of a Worlds group. What are some of the largest challenges in making it out of the group stage?
Some teams some year we lost to 0-5 Flash Wolves. I think that was like 2017.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, if we beat this like awful team that couldn't win against anyone except for us, like we would just make it out. And then other years it was more like, oh, we're like getting smacked by RNG, and we just need to win this last game against Samsung. And like it was a very close game. I threw the game, blows. Every year it's like slightly different. I think the most consistent thing that I could say, like the biggest hurdle, has always just been keeping your team like kind of aggressive and proactive and like clear on what you want to do to win. Oftentimes LCS teams just devolve, especially in week 2, like the week 2 curse. They just devolve into doing nothing, like just doing absolutely nothing and just sitting there. I don't know why. I actually have no idea why.
I was going to ask, like, why is that? Because it ties into what we were talking about before with, like, just NA meta in general.
I honestly could not tell you why. Like, I think if there was an easy answer, it would have been solved already. Like, I'm not usually, like, when I come into week 2 personally, I'm usually, like, whatever team I'm on, I'm a pretty big voice. I'm not, like, tilted or anything. I feel like, okay, like, we can do this. Like, we're really close. We're almost there. And then it just like, I don't know, it's a curse. There's no explanation. We just end up playing bad. It might just be due to a whole year of poor practice, but I think it's more mental.
How is TL going to get out of groups this year?
How is TL going to get out of groups this year? That's a good question. I don't like getting people's hopes up, because every other year I've gotten people's hopes up and I've said a lot of confident stuff. It hasn't worked out, so I'm not the most superstitious person, but I'm just gonna say it's gonna be really hard, and I just want to focus on being like the kind of best. I don't want to say like the best AD carry, but I want to be like the best fit for my team. Whatever they need, a hard carry, somebody who can like lose lane gracefully, whatever it is. Like I want to just be a rock for my team, and try not to have any sort of like mental blocks, something like that. I don't know. It can't be that hard. I feel like it can't be that hard. Like we just need to be better than 2 teams in our group. We just need to be in the top 2 out of 4. I just can't believe I haven't been able to do this. It's crazy. I'm gonna do it. I mean, it happened at MSI. I just need to happen at Worlds.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does having because you did it at MSI and you made finals.
Yeah.
Because it feels like once you get out of the group, the focus narrows enough that it almost lends more concentration in like a good way.
Yeah.
Does being able to get out of groups at MSI help your kind of confidence going into Worlds?
Yeah, MSI gave me a lot of confidence. I feel like MSI, I learned a lot of like hard lessons, and I played some games and I was just like hard dead weight. Specifically against like SKT, I just was totally useless. And then some games, I think I played really well, like against G2. And I think like some games I was like a pretty big contributor to our win. And that experience, like kind of like the positive experience of having good games and feeling like I was playing at like an acceptable level internationally, that is a really big deal for me coming to Worlds. Because before, it's like if I look back, I'm like, CLG, nah, didn't play that well. TSM, nah, didn't play that well. Like I don't have very much to stand up on. So now I can kind of like, I have this experience, especially from last year MSI as well.
You and your TL teammates are stuck on a deserted island. Who is surviving to the end?
Who's surviving? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Dude, everyone's insta-dead except for me. Like my teammates' life skills are really trash. Like, they can't do laundry. Like, they are just so lost. It's crazy.
Who's the worst? Who's dying first? I should ask that.
I think Jensen might die first. It's either Jensen or Impact. Like, Impact would just, like, he'd probably, like, collect, like, clean water and then insta-spill it, and then he would just, like, die of dehydration. Jensen, like, this guy, he can't even like tie his shoes. Like he's so. But the thing is, like, I pity Jensen a lot more. Like I have sympathy, so maybe I would help him out a little bit. I'd like make his little tent or something. Core is actually fine. I think Core might be the most capable, and then Jake. So it's like me, Core, Jake, and then all the way down here is Impact and Jensen.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. And for more League of Legends coverage, especially regarding the World Championship, keep it here on ESPN Esports.